Same thing.
And hello everyone, and welcome in Keukenhof Gardens where we are right now. So I just have to prepare myself a little and then the music starts automatically playing again. It's just the gnome of the Keukenhof or so, I think. So, but welcome everyone in the Keukenhof. We are in the Netherlands, in about 40 minutes away from Amsterdam, although on a beautiful day like today, it was 1.5 hours away from Amsterdam. I'm just gonna remove my speaker, so that's a little easier. But welcome everyone, and I'm also gonna start wearing these ones. So that should be a little better. Hopefully you can hear me well. and we are. My name is Stefan, and we are today in the beautiful flower gardens. A lot of people are thinking that we only have tulips over here, but no, we are in the flower gardens of the Keukenhof, and I'm gonna take you around in the coming, let's say, 45 minutes, about 45 minutes in total. We're gonna see a lot of flowers. I'm gonna tell you some things about the Keukenhof, of course. And at the moment that you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. I'm not saying that I know every answer. I mean, I'm not a botanist. I don't even have a garden. I'm not a botanist, but during the last 3 years, I learned a lot about. I learned a lot about flowers, so I'm gonna take you around, and we're gonna see a lot, and we're gonna learn a little more about this amazing garden. It is good to know that it is today is Saturday, so that is, it means that it's a little more busy. And not only that, it was also the first, we are almost saying it was a summer day today in the Netherlands. So I'm wearing a jacket because it's now, the temperature's dropping a little, but it was a beautiful day. So a lot of people were thinking, let's go to the gardens, let's go to the flower gardens, because this is the best weather for it. So we still see that, although it's now almost the last hour that the gardens are opening. So you will see that more and more people are going to the outside. So, but it's good at least to have so many of you over here. 100 people. Wow, that's almost like times, almost like the old times of Hegel. And I'm standing here in front of one of the beds that you can find here in the Keukenhof Gardens, and it's good to know that in total there are about 7 million bulbs that are planted. 7 million bulbs, and most of them are tulips. But as you can see here in front of me, it's not only tulips, because this is the flower region famous for the tulips, but we also have a lot of other flowers, like what we see over here in front of us, for example, the hyacinth. And sadly enough, I cannot let you smell that. I would have loved to have a smell-o-vision or something like that. Should be on the market maybe in some years from now, and then I can also smell you, because or you can also smell, because the beautiful, the really beautiful hyacinths are extremely smelly. So in a good way, in a good way. So and there are beautiful and purple and white ones over here, and you can see some tulips. We see some here and there. You maybe were seeing before still some snowdrops. So it is still a start of the spring. So we will see a combination of things. And yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? And you have to imagine that in the gardens over here, there are about 40 different gardeners. And these 40 gardeners, they are working the whole year around just to have these gardens over here opened for exactly 8 weeks. Only 8 weeks. So only 8 weeks a year, the gardens are opened. So, and these 40 men, the 40 gardeners, I don't know if they're all men. No, they're not all men. They are preparing and making sure that the gardens are in the best condition every season, with new designs, with new combinations, with some of the newest flowers, the newest breeds, maybe we should call them. And that's all what you can find over here in the gardens. And over here on the side, for example, we have some, look at these. These are tulips. I mean, maybe not the tulip that which you were used to, because it's opening almost like a rose. So, but yeah, this is a tulip. And by the way, this one over here is called the Columbus. So it's named after Columbus. To be honest, in the time of Columbus, the tulip was not even here in the Netherlands. But that's another story. It is already for a long time in the Netherlands, but when Columbus um, sailed the ocean blue, wasn't it? At that moment, at that moment, uh, the tulip was not did not arrive over here yet. And then the next bed over here, look at how beautiful these ones over here. These are very they're called the apricot impression, the tulipa apricot impression. And as you can see, they are quite tall. They're quite tall tulips. And with ones like these, I always like to see a little if we can get under. So we're now under the tulips, under these beautiful red ones. And this is how sometimes call it the end view. So we have the bird-eye view, we have the bee view, but this is the ant view. This is a little how an ant or maybe a little spider is looking at the tulips, and they are wonderful. And also look how they're quite tall. They're really about that was about 3 feet, so 90 centimeters high in total. So they are quite beautiful. And then at the neighbors, there's already another variation. They're called the Tulipa San Bernardo, and this is a so-called fringed tulip. So look at the petals. Look at the petals on the side. It is almost when you're coming nearby that you're thinking like, "Whoa, I can uh, I can open my hands because it is so sharp, or it looks very sharp at least." And of course, I want to welcome everyone. I see there are more than 120 people over here now in the stream. That is a lot. That's really a lot. Um, and that's uh, that's of course that's making me happy. And we have a special guest because Anna, my amazing colleague from now Georgia, is also over here. So welcome here. Special mention to you. And look, I found some beautiful also tulips again. I said before it's we have a lot of other flowers too, but of course the majority that you can find over here are the tulips. And why all these tulips? So why all the tulips over here is because this area around us is the most famous area in the world, not only in the Netherlands but in the world, where you can find tulips, and where we are growing tulips also. So the climate over here is perfect, and it is the climate, by the way, in combination with the soil, because the soil over here is quite sandy. We're not so far away from the beach, and that is the perfect ground to grow all kind of flowers, and especially the tulip. So, and the Keukenhof is basically, and we can see that over here on the side. So I'm just pointing it out with my finger. You see there's a sign number 83, Stengs and Leiden. That's one of the flower farmers from this area that is selling bulbs, and they're selling the bulbs that we are seeing over here. Some very special ones, by the way, because for example over here they have these beautiful white ones called the White Rebel. Now it looks a little like a rebel, isn't it? That's how we. This, by the way, this variation of the tulip is how we're calling it the parrot tulip. So there are all kind of variations, about 5 main variants of the tulip, and next to that, from every variant, there are hundreds, thousands, sometimes thousands, sometimes 10,000s of different colors, heights, shapes, color combinations, and name it. And over here you see the tulips over here called the augean. They are not completely blooming yet, so they are blooming a little later compared to some other ones. But yeah, it's not only tulips. Look here, for example, at this beautiful cherry tree. So that's the combination. The combination of this park only opening for 8 weeks a year. So from the end of March until half May it is open, and then you can also see some of these beautiful cherry blossoms over here. No, we're not in Japan, we're still in the Netherlands, but it is beautiful to see all of these over here. And then of course everywhere around us are the tulip fields. And just to give you an idea, the same flower farmers they have placed over here, look in front of us, just to get you an idea of how the gardens are looking over here. Rows and rows of tulips, and this flower farmer over here is showing some of the latest variations, some of the latest breeds that they have from the tulip. And for example, over here they have a very special one, again a fringed one. Look at this. Look at the petals. I mean, if you're thinking about the tulip, you would maybe not think about this variation. But yeah, this is a quite normal variation nowadays. You love the frillies. Yeah, me too. Me too. Although, also the more traditional one or the single tulips are also quite beautiful. And for example, if we look over here at the white ones, it's almost, look at these white ones. It's almost like that it's not real how white they are. I mean, I think a lot of people in the world want to have feet as white as these tulips. So, and it's almost like, is it silk? Is it plastic? But no, it is really just a petal of a flower. Okay, just going a little back because I have some things where I have to take you to. So, because I was asking on Facebook some places if you would help me, and I'm nearby one of these places. And by the way, it is called this white one. This is the same. This is the same as we saw before. It is called the Royal Virgin. The Royal Virgin. Now you can maybe imagine why they are calling it the Royal Virgin. So I'm just trying to show you a little from under too. I cannot everywhere come that nearby because there are sometimes lines in front to make sure that people are not all gonna stand between the tulips. But here again, the Royal Virgin. Look how beautiful. Wow. Wow. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, I'm just have to go around people sometimes. Over here, there's a pavilion. There inside that pavilion, there are also a lot of tulips, but that's more if the spring is late. This year, we had a very early spring. So with an early spring, there's less to see inside, or you just can stay outside. And then over here, and thank you, Leslie, and thank you others already for tipping. That's the only way how I can keep on doing these tours. And then over here, look at this combination. I don't use a filter. I don't use a filter. These are the real colors of red, yellow, pink, purple, all of them together. Wow. And of course also white. There's still some white. You see the daffodils on the side. And yeah, there are different colors, different variations. And also over here, we have the daffodil. We've seen already several ones before. And it's good to know that from the daffodil, there's only a limited number of colors that you can get them. So as you can see, white is possible. Nearby, we have a little yellowish, little yellow that's next to it. Sometimes with some of the daffodils, you can even get a little pinkish. So pink, yellow, and white. That are the three colors they can get these flowers in. All the other colors, sometimes people are really good with Photoshop, showing blue ones, all kind of other ones. That is not possible with the. That's not possible yet, at least, with the daffodil. So that's good. It's good to know because nowadays I sometimes see. Oh, I saw a little mouse. Don't know if you can see it. There was a little mouse. There's a little mouse over there. Wait. It's, I don't know if you see it, but there is a little mouse. There's a little mouse over there now, sitting at the side between. Oh, bye. It has gone. Okay. That was just an interesting encounter. The mouse of the Keukenhof was over here for us. So no, but what I wanted to say is that nowadays with Photoshop, but also with artificial intelligence, I see sometimes pictures of flowers that you're thinking like, oh, this is too beautiful, this is too good to be true. And if you're checking that, then it seems that it is too good to be true. So, and that's for example with blue, the color blue for both, by the way, for daffodils and also for tulips, it is not possible. And look then over here. Wow, look how beautiful these very pink blossom is. Wow. Or I think in the Netherlands we're saying this old pink. I don't know if that is the same in English, by the way. The color, the pink color that we have over here. Wow. And then over here we have again some tulips in different variations. And also look at the different heights of some of the tulips. Some of them are very small. Other ones are a lot taller than others. So exactly, Natalie. Oud roze, that's how we call it in Dutch. Old pink, old pink. But maybe there's something similar in English. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and look at these beds and old rose or dusty rose. Okay, so old rose is quite similar. That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. And then over here again, I can give you another view from in between the tulips. So we're going again as if we are a little ant between the tulips, going just in between them. Whoa! Go out of the way. Look how beautiful this is. This combination. And it's good to know I'm smelling over here hyacinths. But all these tulips, they're hardly smelling. So that's one of the things you maybe think like, okay, also these tulips are very smelly, but no, they are not. There's hardly any fragrance coming from the tulip, but there is a lot, really a lot from the hyacinths. Okay, today is the mouse view. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Good one. That's a good one. So, it's the Sarah is the mouse who is living in the windmill. Okay, yeah, that's the circle is round again now. Okay, I'm just walking a little. I sometimes have some parts where there are a little less flowers, but look at this flaming color over here. This they're also called flaming orange, something like that. I don't see the name over here, but I think last time that I saw it, it's called the flaming orange tulip. Look, it is not very high, but the petals are in the shape of a fire. So this is quite beautiful, isn't it? And you can also see on the right side there are some others that are not blooming. They're still on their way. And then talking about old pink, we also have over here some other tulips, single tulips. And when I'm saying single tulips, then I'm talking about the petals. So the petals of these uh, tulips are just a single row. It's just a single row. Later on, we will also see double tulips. So that means that they have two rows of petals, and then the flowers, of course, a little more filled. Okay, and Mel was saying what they lack in smell, they made up with color. Yeah, I think I agree to that. Okay, I'm just going to the next little garden. There are some little in a variation or in a theme, and the ones over here are also in a theme related to music. Related to music. Of course, I was starting this tour earlier with some music, and I will show you why the music is inspiring over here, the gardens. Look at this combination. And you're maybe thinking, oh wow, this combination of colors, this is so beautiful. Um, I would love to be as creative as the gardeners of the Keukenhof. What you can do then is just write down the number of the field where you are, and the number of the farmer, and you can just buy a mix of bulbs, so you can plant that the next year, the end of the year, and then next year you will have a garden like this. Of course, if you have a good climate for that. And yeah, if you have an old piano, you can do something like this with it. It's not working anymore, but just add some flowers on top. Or if you prefer to play drums, that's also possible. Or even your whole drum. So maybe your neighbors have been complaining so much, then you can also do something else with your drums. Or your sax. Look at this. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna walk a little further. Because what I also like is that in a lot of locations they made the ground a little higher, so you can also, I don't even have to bow anymore over here to go through my knees just to see all the beautiful flowers. And again, in another combination, I also love the sex. Yeah, it's quite a creative idea, isn't it? And over here we have these little hyacinths here on the side. And it's almost, in some locations, it looks a little like, oh, there's a little water. There's a little river of flowers just flowing through. Wow. And also, again, look how beautiful this daffodil is over here. And then in combination with almost the same colors at the back from the tulip, it's opening up. It's literally showing its beauty to the world. That's with a lot of these flowers, of course, the case. And then here on top, not to forget, and exactly, they're grape hyacinths. You're right, you're right. These little hyacinths that we were seeing, that are the grape hyacinths. The smaller ones that we were seeing, that I was mentioning as if it is like a little river. So I'm just going back now a little, and you can see what I mean. So over there we have the grape hyacinths in the middle. So, wow. And yeah, Susan, if I if I have to remind the English name, the Dutch name that I sometimes know, and also the Latin name, that is too much. That's too much for me. But you're right. You're right. There's, of course, all of them also have a Latin name. And there's now, the interesting thing is it's also now a little later in the day, and then you see that the animals are coming back. So I see more and more birds also around here that are now coming back and taking over the Keukenhof again. Okay, I'm just gonna show you. Look at the field, like over here. Look at the colors, look at the combination. It is almost every color you can think of, from purple, red, pink, white, orange. I see them all. It's unbelievable. And again, here in the middle, there is, and we've seen already one before, where there's a very specific type of tulips. And I'm coming now a little more nearby to show you. Look at this one over here. It is, it's called the Tulipa Rocco. And the Tulipa Rocco is a so-called parrot tulip again. So one of the variations of the tulip, and it has a very interesting shape of the petals, even more when they are opening. So I'm just going to show you some of them, just to give you an idea. And so different from just a more traditional, although even this one is beautiful, isn't it? And it's called the Pretty Princess, the Tulipa Pretty Princess. I can imagine all these young girls in their princess clothes. They love to do this. Okay. And Leslie, no, they are not damaged at all. No, that's just how they are. You can see it over here again. There's a combination of the white prince with the rocco. So it is completely, it's just a shape. And if you're coming more nearby, it is just how it is, not damaged at all. Okay. And then there are several parts. There are several parts with other teams. And over here we have an interesting team. I'm seeing a hammock. I'm seeing sand. Okay, I said already, flowers are pretty well growing on the sand. So, and we have all kind of other variations of tulips again. And also look at this. I'm just gonna get you a little lower. So in between, look at all these colors. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? And then what they did over here, what do we have? We have palm trees. We have palm trees, so it almost looks like I am in another part of the world. This is the tropical garden, the tropical tulip garden uh, of the Keukenhof. And you can even sit over there in the sun, although the sun is a little now behind the clouds. And there's a beautiful cherry tree. Uh, and yeah, Emily, it's almost feeling like I'm back in Florida, although even the temperature today was a little like that. And look, there are even some flamingos. I saw them in reality when I was there. So I don't know if it's Florida. I think it's more inspired by the Dutch Caribbean because, of course, the Dutch, we have some uh, little islands still in the Caribbean. Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao, still part of the Netherlands. And it's a little inspired on that. So we have our little tropical feeling over here, just in between, all the tulips that you also have over here. Ah, look at these. And then I was recently in Florida. I'm just back now, I think, for 4 weeks or so, for a month, something like that. I'll be back one day, is the plan. Maybe next year again in February. That depends. It depends a little. Okay, I'm just going to show you a little more. Wow, look. And we have over here a different variation, and this is again a tulip. Look how beautiful they are. So this one is called the Tulipa Red Dress. You can maybe imagine that this is almost like a dress of a princess. Wow, this is beautiful, isn't it? And then a little at the back, you see that there's also a purple variation. So a red dress and a purple dress. And on the side here, there's also a pink dress. Just coming a little there nearby. Oh wow, so beautiful. And I will, of course, keep this tour a little longer, so I will not immediately remove it. Whoa, sorry. Oh, my gimbal was. Sometimes I'm doing a little too much with my gimbal, and then it's getting its own life. But look how beautiful this is. Again, it's looking at the dress, although the one over here is called the Crown of Dynasty. So I want to present you the Crown of Dynasty over here. Wow, amazing. And Julie is asking, do you have bees over here? Yeah, to be honest, not so many anymore. So, and that's one of the bad parts of all these flowers over here is that a lot of the flower farmers still, although it is changing now, but they're using too much chemicals to grow their flowers. So big parts of the area over here, of the surrounding fields, are so poisoned that you can hardly find any bee anymore. And by the way, not only bees, it's also the same for other insects. So the good thing is now that in the last, let's say, 10 years, that we are getting more and more aware of what is happening. So now more and more of the flower farmers are going back to more ecological use of more ecological ways to make sure that all the flowers are staying healthy, because of course that's why they started using all these other stuff to make sure that there were not too many insects. But sadly enough, also the bee and some other insects were also killed by all the chemicals that are used. So oh wow, this is so amazing, isn't it? Yeah, so it is sad in a way, but the thing is that people are getting aware. And by the way, on the openings day of the Keukenhof, there was even a big protest over here. I didn't see that because I was later on the day, but when they were opening in the morning, there were a lot of people protesting over here because of all the nature that's killed still because of that we are producing so many of these tulips and other bulbs. It's a tulip overload, yeah, that's for sure. Oh, look how beautiful this is. Again, some parrot tulips, a little different variation. And look, I'm just going to show you. If you see this in your screen, do you think that this is a tulip? I don't think so, but it is. It is. And also, just to give you an idea, everywhere around us, you have these beautiful, really beautiful beds, and with different variations. And just for example, the one over here is a little more green and more subtle than the other ones. And I said already, like you can even buy the mixture. So they have, for example, over here on the side, they're showing you the mixture of the tulips, the allium. Now the allium is, I don't see allium yet. That is later in the season. That will come up later. Fritillaria, I see some of them. There's anemone, there's the narcissus or the daffodil, muscari. So all kind of variations are over here that we can find. And that is basically with every bed they place the mixture, and they're showing you the mixture of what it all is. So if you want to have that, then you can just write it down. Look at that. Look how beautiful this is. All variations of yellow and a little orange. So if you like a little more of orange and yellow and a little white, by the way, also, then this variation over here is really a good one. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? And Susan, you're saying the Queen of the Night is one of your favorites. Yeah, maybe we'll see that later on. I don't know yet. Okay, I'm just going. This part over here is a little more busy, and that's because these two things. One, there is a little drawbridge here on the side, although it's restored in 2019, just before COVID. And then here at the right side, we have a windmill. It is a windmill that is not originally from this area. It's coming from the northern part of the Netherlands. We had so many windmills in the Netherlands and several of them were not in use anymore. So a local government somewhere in the northern part of the Netherlands, in Groningen to be precise, gave this to the Keukenhof, to the flower gardens, to have something typical Dutch also over here. And let me see if I can get it together with some flowers. It's always hard. There's not so many anymore, so I don't want too many people. Okay, a daffodil. Now the daffodils are, you can see already, there's been a quite warm spring. So the daffodils are already at the end of their blooming period. So, but at least it gives you an idea. So the daffodils are at the end, the hyacinths are in the middle, and the tulips are just starting to bloom. So this is really the time of the tulip, and I'm going to show you that over here. Look at this. If you love pink, then this is the bed to go to. Look how beautiful this is. Wow. Amazing, isn't it? This is your favorite color. So you can also imagine that so many people over here wanna take pictures with all the flowers. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try from over here. Oh, gimbal, come on. I'm turning it so much that it's a little harder. Okay. Okay, no. No, some people are literally bumping against me. Okay. I don't know. I was in their way or so. But look how beautiful this is. This is it, isn't it? The tulips together with the windmill. More than that. So this is really the Netherlands. Tulips and a windmill. I'm only missing my little mouse that's living in the windmill. You maybe know that song. And some maybe some cheese and some clocks. But next to that, this is it. Hopefully you took a nice picture of this. But if you like to have the windmill with yellow, we can also do that. We can also do that. Then, oh wait. So wait, let me see if I can do this. Wait one moment. It's getting the best. You see on the background, there is the windmill, some beautiful yellow and red. Yeah, there's also someone else that's doing a photo shoot. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? So yeah, the windmills of the Netherlands. We also have that. Okay, just wanna take you a little, we're just gonna walk a little more to the other side because I also want to show you some parts of the other side. And in the meantime, you can see that it's getting a little more quiet. So there are less people. The sun is going down, but it is a little, it looks a little gloomy, a little damp. But to be honest, that is Sahara sand. So we have a lot of sand of the Sahara from the northern part of Africa. Sometimes it happens with a certain wind that the sand is coming all the way over here to the Netherlands, and it's now in our skies. So that is why we see a little less, why we don't see the sun. But most probably later on, it will get a little more and more orange. So okay. Surprised the grass isn't wetter. No, because the last days it has been dry. So the last 3 days, the days before it was rain, 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 and more rain. So, but we just have that behind already, little. Okay, I'm just gonna catch you. Oh, Michelle, I didn't even know that the Sahara sand was even sometimes coming to all the way to the US. Wow, that's interesting to know. And then over here we have this little gardens. You can see it is designed in the English landscape style, the famous English landscape style. We have a lot of parks and places in the Netherlands that are made like that. And we have a tiny windmill standing over there. And also look in the water. Look in the water. There's a, you can maybe see it. Maybe I can zoom in a little. Oh, it's not working. Yeah, I can zoom in a little. You maybe see it. There's a little sailing ship over there. But that sailing ship is made from a huge, no, from a clock. So it's another way of sailing in the Netherlands is just using a clock. Can be also a bigger one than the one that we see over there. Oh, and now I don't know if you can hear it, but they're everywhere now. Birds. You see, most people are now gone. They're all going to the exit because the park is closing in about 30 minutes from now. And it's wonderful. Wow. And look how beautiful this is. Red and white, the most beautiful combination. And I said already several times the name of this place. The name of this place is the Keukenhof. So I know a lot of people that are coming over here from English-speaking countries. They're saying it's the Keukenhof, but no, it is the Keukenhof. Keukenhof, and keuken is the Dutch word for kitchen. And why is it called kitchen or the kitchen gardens? That's because we have to go back for this to about a little more than 500 years ago. Now, 500 years ago, there was a queen living over here from Bavaria, and I'm now talking about around 1400. And of course, as a queen, you have a castle, but not only that, you also have a lot of staff working for you. So, and all these people needed to have some food. So there were big kitchens in her castle, and of course, to feed everyone, they also needed a big garden. So they started this estate that we're now calling the Keukenhof, and it was basically the estate of the queen over here, and she used it for in her kitchen. And for hundreds of years, it was first still connected to the garden what I was talking about. And then later on, there was another castle from the 17th century, and it stayed in the later on. It stayed in the hands um, of the local community. And look at this. Oh, I didn't even plan to look at this, but I was saying before, one of the most beautiful things are the rivers of grape hyacinths. Look at this. It is a sea of blue. It's almost like there's a little river floating in between some tulips and some daffodils. And yeah, from the top it looks like almost like water. And if we are coming more nearby, then you can see that it's just all hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of these little grape hyacinths that are forming all together this beautiful river over here. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? Okay, I'm just walking further. There's so much to see, and on a tour of 1 hour, that's what I'm doing right now. I can show you about, I think, 30% of the flower gardens, 30, maybe 40%. So you can imagine if you really want to see everything, then you need half a day. So we're taking people a lot of times, if they want to see the flower gardens, then we're taking them for half a day over here. So they have enough time to see every corner of the park, to take pictures, of course, also from every corner. And then you have beautiful places like this. Wow. And yeah, friend, I also really love that we had a good timing. We had a good time because it's also, of course, you have to be lucky that it is blooming and it's not blooming the whole year round. And not even the whole 8 weeks that we are here. Okay, just going this way. Oh, and I'm smelling hyacinths again. Um, and Julie is asking, do they plant the bulbs very close so there are no weeds, or is there a gardener that actually weeds these gardens? Now, there are still these gardeners. There's 40 gardeners. They're, of course, around over here. So they are making sure that everything stays perfect. And not only that, and I told this already several times in other tours when I was here, also they will make sure that the full 8 weeks, that the gardens are open, that you have flowers. And the thing is, for example, a tulip. A tulip is blooming for about 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks only, and the gardens are open for 8 weeks. So that's not gonna work completely. Now the good thing is that there are some. You have early and you have late bloomers, but still, they were thinking about another solution. So what they did is a technique that you can, by the way, also even use in your garden. So they're calling it after the famous Italian food, the lasagna. So they're calling it the lasagna technique. And if you're thinking about the lasagna, then you're thinking about layers, layers, layers. And what they do, they did the same with all the bulbs that are planted over here in the gardens. So if you're thinking about the soil, that they placed 3 layers of bulbs just over each other. And by placing 3 layers, you can maybe imagine that the ones most nearby the top, they're starting to bloom first. And after they started blooming, then after 2 to 3 weeks, then they're cutting the flower away, and then the second row is starting to bloom. And by doing this, you have 3 rows, and you can just have 8 to 9 weeks in total of blooming tulips, and also, by the way, some of the other flowers. So it is a whole technique that they're doing. And look at this. Look how red this in the. And Cindy, we're not there yet. So I'm just gonna walk a little further. Oh, and again, the smell over here is amazing. And look at the combination. Look at the combination of all these different flowers all together. And also over here, the Fritalia, or the Crown Imperial, that is the higher plants that we see over here, the yellow ones on the side. called the Crown Imperial in English. And oh, there's one more nearby. I can also show you that. So I'm just gonna show you one because it's always sort of higher than the rest. So it's sticking above all these others as if the royal himself or herself is just above the rest. So that's why it is called the Crown Imperial, a beautiful flower. And Leslie is asking, what happens with the rest of the year with this place? Yeah, it's closed. The rest of the year, the flower gardens are closed. So it's only open for 8 weeks a year. And all the other weeks a year, and that's a lot more weeks, it is closed. And that is the time that they're just preparing for the next season. And I also want to show you this. Look how beautiful this is. Imagine this. Wow. I would love to have a garden like this. To do a lot of tours, I think. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to the next location. You see everywhere there are beds and more. Yeah, it seems a shame. Yeah, you can say that. But on the other hand, why? I mean, it's just the 8 weeks and people are coming over here to see the spring in the Netherlands. And the rest of the year, yeah, it is for the animals, for all the other uh, species that are living over here. So, and humans, we just have to wait. We just have to wait for the next spring again before it is opening. And of course, because it is only opening for 8 weeks, it's also quite quite popular. So millions and millions of people are coming over here every year to see the gardens, to see them opening. Oh, look at the beautiful, wow! And I have so many things to stop, but I want to go to another location. One moment. Oh wow! Just yeah, it is now already so much calmer than it was before. That is really amazing, amazing to see. And their flowers are literally everywhere. It's not stopping. And of course, there are little fountains everywhere. There are play gardens. We have over here some more Crown Imperial. Look at these. Wow. And all these combinations. Oh, wait. Another beautiful combination. I see a lot of people standing over here to take selfies. And you can maybe imagine why that is. That's because of this, what we see over here. Yellow, pink, white. Old rose also. Wow. It's never ending. And you can maybe imagine that it's not only over here, it is also in the surrounding area. So in the fields around the Keukenhof, that's where the farmers are all growing, where they're all growing their flowers. So if you, for example, coming with a plane to the Netherlands this time of the year, if it is daytime, and if you're landing then at our airport, Schiphol Airport, then you can see, you can really see a lot of the flower fields. So, wow, beautiful. And of course, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Okay, um, just going to show you a little more. And Julie's asking, will you do a balloon ride? Now, my last balloon ride took me 2 years. So, next year, okay? Until now, the spring has also been, the weather changes a lot. So, I don't know if that's the best idea. Okay. So, um, just more. No balloon this year. That will be hopefully next year again. So, oh wait, going use some other. Look at these ones. Wow. In 4 years even? No, no. Maybe next year. Maybe next year is a good moment. It's a good moment to do this again. So okay. Um, we have over here, by the way, some huge bulbs here on the side, as you can see. Um, and okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna do something a little different. So um, hopefully you can still hear me because I am now gonna jump in the water. Okay, I'm gonna jump in the water. Oh wait, I just have to wait because there's some more people walking over the water. Oh, I'm walking on water. I don't know if you can hear me still. Woo! Ah, ah, okay, I made it. I was walking on water. Now my gimbal is completely. Woo. So okay, I made it. I made it. So I had to train a lot for this. You can maybe imagine that to walk over the water. But I made it. I made it back. I was fast enough. So it was. I'm now almost out of breath. So in the meantime, by the way, the gardens are now closing. So I have to go. I slowly have to go to the exit to my car that's standing over there. So oh, it's good to know that you could also hear me. So I'm gonna show you some of the last beautiful tulips that we have over here, like the red ones, amazingly. And I love again the combination of red with yellow and white and clearly again every color you can think of. So wow, look at these combinations. So okay, yeah, my feet are a little wet now. That's for sure, but okay, I was walking on water. What do you think? Uh, okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this Keukenhof tour. So it's almost a year now that I'm streaming because last year I started streaming in the Keukenhof, before of course on Hego, but now on YouTube. So I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I will keep on doing this. It is now the second time that I was here. I will come at least one and maybe even two more times to the Keukenhof, and also want to show you next time if the last 2 weeks the weather was not too good. So that hopefully in the coming 2 weeks the weather will be good again, and then I can also take you on a bicycle to the fields because the fields are now also quite beautiful. So keep an eye on my YouTube channel. So because then you will not miss the next one. And of course, these tours are all tip supported. So that's the only way how I can keep on doing this. So to travel over here to, of course, I'll always do some study. Although I know a lot, but every time I'm trying to know some new things about flowers, about planting techniques, about whatever a name of a color or a or a new flower, for example. So no, but thank you for joining me again. You can leave a tip, and the links will now be added. And thank you, Catherine, for doing that. So that can be a PayPal or buy me a coffee, or there's even a third way. So thank you again for joining. I hope to see you again. I'm now going back to my car because it is still light, and I brought my drone with me. So I want to try if I can see some beautiful shots with a drone over the flower field. So that is for another tour. Bye bye. See you again. I think I did not close it well, so I'm gonna try to close it again. Thank you again. Sorry, I'm a little back because I didn't close it well. So I'm now gonna end the YouTube live session